Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you step-by-step how to create a bounce animation in After Effects. With this technique, you'll be able to add more dynamic and realistic motion to your animations. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Now let's jump right into the tutorial. First, let's animate the mountains in the background one by one. Now let's select the second mountain layer and press the P key on the keyboard to open the position settings. Let's create a keyframe at the first frame of our scene. This will define the starting point of our animation. Now, let's move 10 frames forward and create another keyframe. Repeat this process 5 times in total. The reason we're doing this is to keep the layer's position intact. We will only adjust the position value where it's actually needed. Now, let's go to the first keyframe and drag down the position value of the mountain layer until the mountain disappears completely. Now at the second keyframe, we adjust the mountain layer to be positioned a little higher. We repeat this process at each keyframe, gradually slowing down. This way, the mountain layer will enter the scene quickly and then slowly settle with a bouncing motion. For a smoother motion, let's select all the keyframes and apply Easy Ease. You can do this by pressing the F9 key on your keyboard. Now let's do the same process for the first mountain layer as well. I'll speed up this part a little because it's very simple and exactly the same steps we just did. Right now, both layers are moving simultaneously, which makes the animation feel a bit unnatural. To fix this, I'll delay the first mountain layer by about 3 to 4 frames compared to the second mountain layer. With this subtle offset, the layers will move at different times, resulting in a more natural and visually pleasing animation. Now we'll repeat the same process on the tree layers. As you can see, this tutorial is quite straightforward. With just a few adjustments using position, scale, and rotation, we can achieve a clean and effective animation. And if you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to support the channel by liking this video. It really helps it reach more people and allows me to create more content for you. Next, we'll shift the tree layers about 3 to 4 frames later than the mountain layers. By staggering the start times, each layer begins at a slightly different moment, giving the animation a more dynamic and visually pleasing flow. And this effect is precisely the result we want to achieve. Now, let's animate the home layer. Here's the animation I have in mind. The home layer will drop from the top while growing. When it hits the ground, it will bounce to create a bounce effect. Since we'll add the bounce effect, we won't use the home layer's own scale and position values. Instead, let's create a null object. To move the null object's anchor point to the center, hold down the Control key and double-click on it with your mouse. Now, let's align the null object to the center of the home layer. Then, link the home layer to the null object using Parent. This way, any movement applied to the null object will also affect the home layer in the same way. Next, we select the null object. Press P on the keyboard to access the position settings. This allows us to easily adjust the movement for the animation. We start by adding a keyframe for the position. Next, move 10 frames ahead and insert another keyframe to continue the animation flow. Now we'll repeat the same steps 2 more times. However, this time we'll leave a 5-frame interval between keyframes, making the animation smoother and more controlled. Let's animate the home layer to create a falling motion. First, we move the position upwards so the layer will enter the scene from above. Then, at the third keyframe, we slightly raise the position value. This adjustment makes the layer bounce gently when it hits the ground, adding a more natural and realistic animation. To create smoother animation, we select all the keyframes and apply Easy Ease. This makes the motion look much more natural.
We're opening the graph editor.
If the view looks different on your screen, simply right-click and choose Edit Speed Graph. Now it should match exactly. Okay, now let's adjust the scale. By holding down the Shift key and pressing S, the scale settings will appear. On the very first frame, we add a keyframe for scale. Then we move 7 frames forward and insert another keyframe. Finally, we return to the first keyframe and set its value from 100 down to 0. We select all the keyframes and apply Easy Ease to make the motion smoother. We want the position and scale animations to play at different times. So we move 5 frames forward and shift the position keyframes ahead by 5 frames. This makes the animation look much more appealing. To apply the bounce effect to the home layer, first we select the home layer. Then we set the anchor point to the bottom center of the house. This step ensures the effect looks more realistic. While the home layer is selected, we press the S key on the keyboard and the scale settings appear. Now, we place scale keyframes at the same intervals as the position keyframes. This way, both animations stay synchronized. To apply the bounce effect properly, we remove the chain icon next to scale. This ensures that when we decrease the scale value, the home layer bends downward, giving us exactly the effect we want. We carefully adjust the scale values to ensure the animation bounces correctly, creating a natural motion. We select all the keyframes and apply Easy Ease. Then, keeping all keyframes selected, we move them 1 frame forward. This ensures that each motion happens at a slightly different time, giving the animation a more polished look. On the shadow layer, we adjust the scale values to match the house's falling motion. This ensures the shadow animation stays in sync. Maintaining the layer order, we bring the home, shadow, and home null object layers forward. This ensures the background trees appear first, followed by the home animation. We apply all the adjustments and animations from the home layer to the stone layer, ensuring both layers move in sync. By holding down the Shift key and pressing R, we open the rotation settings. We add a different rotation to the stone layer, making it appear to sway as it falls. These kinds of details are entirely up to your creativity. Feel free to experiment with your own animation ideas. We select all the keyframes and press F9 on the keyboard to apply Easy Ease. This will make our animation look much smoother and more natural. On the shadow layer, we fine-tune the scale to follow the stone's fall and bounce. As the stone layer drops, the shadow appears and then subtly scales with the bounce. These fine touches define the quality of the animation. The more care you put in, the more impressive the outcome. Next, we move on to the tree layer. Since the process is identical to the home and stone layers, I'll fast forward through this part to keep the video concise. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be supporting me and be the first to catch my upcoming tutorials. To quickly set the scale for the shadow, we copy the scale keyframes from the tree layer and paste them into the tree shadow layer. This saves us from adjusting each keyframe one by one. Let's add a subtle swinging effect to the tree. To do this, we simply apply the CC Bended effect from the Effects and Presets panel to our tree layer. To remove the rough edges around the tree, we simply click the gear icon next to the tree layer. This completely fixes the issue. In the CC Bend It settings, we set the start point to the bottom of the tree and move the end point to the very top. This way, we achieve a much smoother and more natural swinging effect. Now we add a keyframe to the bend property, then we place additional bend keyframes aligned with the same intervals as the scale animation. At each step, we gradually decrease the bend value starting from around -20 and easing down to 0. This way, as the tree grows, it sways more dramatically at first, then naturally slows down until it comes to rest. This creates a much more realistic and visually appealing animation. Now, let's apply the same process to the other tree layer. First, we adjust the position of the anchor point. Then, we simply copy the scale keyframes from the previous tree layer and paste them onto this one. This way, we can recreate the same animation quickly without having to set each keyframe manually. Now, let's copy the CC Bended effect and paste it onto the Tree 1 layer. This way, both trees will have the same swinging motion, giving our animation a more consistent and natural look. Okay, now let's add a smoke effect to the house layer. First, we create a new composition. This composition will be used to organize and animate the smoke effect. Now let's create a shape layer using the rectangle tool. This layer will serve as the base shape for our smoke effect. To create the waving effect, we apply the wave warp effect from the Effects and Presets panel onto the shape layer. Then, we adjust the settings in the Effects Control panel to match a smoke effect, giving the shape layer a natural flowing motion. Now, we drag our smoke composition into the main composition, placing it above the home layer. Then, we set the rotation to -90 to position it correctly and adjust its placement, so the smoke sits naturally over the house. Since the smoke is too large, we press S on the keyboard to open the scale settings and reduce its value, adjusting the smoke's size to fit naturally over the house. Now, to make the smoke move along with the home layer, we parent the smoke layer to the home layer. This ensures that the smoke moves in sync with the house. Now, we press T on the keyboard to open the opacity settings and lower the smoke layer's opacity. This creates a lighter, more visually appealing smoke effect. Now, the smoke's rise didn't look quite right. To fix this, we go into the smoke composition and lower the wave height value. This makes the smoke rise more smoothly and naturally. The smoke is rising a bit too fast. To fix this, we set the wave speed to 0.5. This allows the smoke to rise more slowly and naturally. Now, since we want to add a parallax zoom to our animation, I'm selecting all layers belonging to each element and pre-composing them. This makes it much easier to apply camera movement and keeps the animation organized. Now, to apply the parallax effect, I'll be using a free script. I'll share the download link in the description so you can easily use it as well. Now we select all the layers here and open the script from the Windows menu at the top. We then click the checkbox in the script panel. This automatically arranges all our layers for the parallax effect and creates a camera for us. To animate our camera, we press P on the keyboard to open the position settings and set a keyframe at the first frame. Then, at the 7th second of our scene, we add a zoom in, making the viewer focus more on the scene. We select the last keyframe and apply Easy Ease In. This makes the camera movement start faster and gradually slow down at the end, creating a smoother and more natural motion. Finally, let's add snowflakes to our scene. First, we create a new adjustment layer from the layer menu at the top and rename it CC Snowfall. Next, we select the CC Snowfall effect from the Effects and Presets panel and apply it to the adjustment layer. This will make snowflakes start moving across the scene. Now, the snowflakes are too small and not fully visible in the scene. To fix this, we adjust the settings of the CC Snowfall effect, making the snowflakes more visible and better integrated into the scene. Now we set flakes to 15,000. Variation size to 50. Size to 10. And opacity to 100. Finally, we set the influence under background illumination to 10. This makes the snowflakes appear more natural and visually pleasing.
We select all layers and activate motion blur. This gives our animation a more natural and realistic look.
And that's it for our animation. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to support my channel. Stay tuned for my upcoming tutorials to be among the first to learn new techniques. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.